Chicken Caesar has to be one of my favorite meals, so it does make me a very harsh critic, but I've come up with a much lighter and easier version of the salad to enjoy midweek. So first of all, it's all about the chicken and its quick marinade. So we're just gonna go in with some oregano, a lot of paprika, ground coriander, a bit of salt, good amount of extra virgin olive oil, and then garlic. We're just gonna crush it, and we're just gonna grate those on a microplane. Garlic in the bowl. And then we're gonna use the zest and juice of a lemon. And because this is a quick marinade, we are gonna be allowing it to sit in the acid for a little bit. So usually I would marinate chicken for quite a while, but because this is a quick midweek recipe, there's a lot of flavor in here which is gonna instantly go into the chicken, so you don't have to spend much time marinating at all. So I'm using chicken thigh. It's gonna be a lot more tender than just using chicken breast. Now straight onto a baking tray, just lined with a bit of baking paper. Straight into the oven. I've got the oven preheated at 250 fan force, which is incredibly high, but these are only going to take 15 minutes to cook. So we're looking for them to be nice and charred and tender on the inside. So I think the most important part of a Caesar is definitely the croutons. I'm going to use some dark rye bread that's seeded as well, and it's going to give a really nice crunch and lots of flavor. Onto a baking paper lined tray, random pieces, not too big, because we want to get some good coverage of oil and parmesan on top. So we've ripped all the bread apart. I'm just going to use some olive oil spray. You could just use olive oil to drizzle, but this way we're going to ensure that the bread has complete coverage of oil. And then the best ingredient, some parmesan. When you are putting this on the tray, make sure you get it in between the gaps, because what's going to happen is as the cheese melts, it's going to kind of create these spikes on the ends of the bread. And some black pepper. So we're going to go into the oven under the chicken for about 5 minutes until that parmesan is nice and golden and the bread's crispy. A Caesar salad is made by its dressing. So firstly, some garlic and anchovies, and I'm going to chop them at the same time to crush them. When we're at this finely chopped stage, I'm just going to use the edge of your knife to press it down into a bit of a paste. So you can see we've created a bit of a paste here, and this is going to be the foundation of the flavor in the dressing. So into the bowl, in with your yogurt, some parmesan, Worcestershire sauce, some Dijon, some freshly ground black pepper, and then just the juice of half a lemon. Mix it together, and that's the dressing done. So the chicken is charred and tender, the croutons are nice and crisp, and all that parmesan is golden. We're just gonna let that rest for a few minutes while we dress our salad. I've got a mixture of cos lettuce leaves here, and also some radicchio just to give it a bit of bitterness and also a bit more color. And then in your bowl, just go with some of that dressing. And now just toss it all together to make sure all the leaves are entirely coated in the dressing. So we're just gonna go into our serving bowl with those dressed leaves. And because we scattered that parmesan everywhere, we've got these little spikes of parmesan all over the croutons, which are so delicious. So break them up and just scatter them around the salad. And now with the chicken, just take a few pieces and just slice it into some chunks. And finally, just a few more dollops of the dressing. And these pan juices from the chicken are absolute gold. So get some of that and drizzle it all over. So that's our lighter and brighter chicken Caesar, which doesn't skimp on any of the flavors. For this recipe and more, head to delicious.com.au.